Just want to let you lot know that if you're watching this clip on the Fozcast YouTube channel, the full episode is now available to watch exclusively on Spotify, and it's free. Come on. Class, isn't it? I love these sort of because, like I said, when we had him on the podcast, you can tell he's a great lad. You can tell he's professional. You can tell he does it right.
Yeah.
And it was just about the time when he was starting to really start making a name for himself. So you could see that he was growing in confidence. And I think that for me is the big bit, that when you go on a pitch on a Saturday afternoon, I think everybody is a very good player. Everybody.
Yeah.
But if you've got the confidence to go with, and it's not arrogance, it's confidence and a bit of maybe arrogance, but if you've got that alongside your ability, you can really push on, can't you? You can really, really push on, because like I say, he's paid his dues. He's been out on loan. He's not been in the squads. He hasn't been a main player.
He's done the relegation, the championship, the promotion.
Yeah, I think this is it. Like he found that confidence from somewhere. I don't know where, but he found that confidence where he would come in, and even down to his dress sense, like he'd come in wild clothes, but he was confident enough to do that. Out on the pitch, that translated. Like he was confident to try things. He was confident to speak when things need to be said. Yeah. Out on the training pitch. So I don't know where he found it, but he did, and like along with that, like he was living right. Like I think he hired a chef to cook, make sure he was cooking the right food, and I think he was living on his own at the time. Recognised that he weren't he couldn't cook that food himself, so made sure that he found somebody that could, so that he was living right. So little things like this, if you want to get to that level, you have to.
That's what it takes.
To do. Yeah,
that's what it takes.
That's class. That is. We were doing a bit of research, and we realised you've scored a couple of quite key, notable goals during your career. So we were a little bit surprised, weren't we? You scored the 20,000th Premier League goal, and you received. Tell us what you received.
Well, nothing actually. So I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that it was up for grabs this night. I hadn't been told anything about it. So it was against Arsenal at Villa Park. 1-0 down. I've got put through, and one-on-one with, I think it was Chesney that was in goal. I've scored in front of the Holt end. I've gone mad, kissing the badge. I was all over the place. We've ended up losing the game 2-1. I've then gone into the tunnel after the game, and the media guys pulled me to one side. He says, "Mark, you've scored the 20,000th Premier League goal." And I was like, right, okay, amazing. What does that mean? So, well, you get £20,000. So I'm thinking all of a sudden, bear in mind, I'm a young lad there, so my wage isn't top end. So, okay, you got £20,000. So already I'm thinking, what can I get with that?
Nick's is going to get rich tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning,
Mailbox.
day off. So I'm looking at it going, wow, amazing. And then I've gone into the changing room, been called back out for an interview, and they've gone, right, you need to speak about this 20,000th goal, your £20,000. So it's got to be gifted to a charity. And I was like, oh, right, okay.
Excuse me?
Of course.
But that's the thing. I've gone, yeah, absolutely. I will, of course. And then they've gone, the charity that we're partners with at Villa is Acorns Children's Hospice. Yeah. So it has to go to that charity. So I was like, right, okay. So it's the quickest I've ever spent £20,000. But no, it was great. They came and we did a big presentation about it.
Lovely,
and, you could see where the money goes to. We visited the hospice, and it's amazing. You build relationships with the people there as well.
Yeah, they are a fantastic charity. We've done a bit of work with them. They are great.
And then the other another big goal was you scoring Leicester City's first ever Champions League goal.
Oof.
Yeah. Again, so I've scored the goal. When I've scored it, I think you go into them games. So it's a bit like the first day of the season. You don't really know what level you're at compared to the other team. So you don't know. I always think this on the first day of the season. You don't know how fit you are compared to how pre-season's gone for the other team. So the first sort of half an hour, you're sort of sussing it out a little bit. So the Champions League, it was the same. Like, we didn't really know our level compared to like this European team. So we played Club Bruges. We didn't really know what our level was going to be coming up against them. So we've gone into it, and yeah, within a few minutes, long throw in the Champions League, never been seen, has come in, and then, yeah, the keeper's misjudged it, and I've managed to get in at the back post, and again lost myself. Like, I was celebration, like his mouth's wide open. I don't know what I'm doing, but you just lose yourself. And I remember going in at half time, and Ben Chilwell like put his arm around me. I think he was on the bench, and he's put his arm around me. He's like, "Mate, you've just scored in the Champions League." Like, and I think that's when it properly sunk in. I was like, no way, like, wow. But so my parents have followed me throughout my whole career. Obviously, when you're a kid, they drive you here, there, and everywhere, drive you everywhere. And even when I've turned pro, home and away, like, they'll make sure they're there. So this particular game, it's the first one, like first European game, and my mum was like, I can't really afford like to have the time off work. Like, she's a manager of a preschool, and my dad was like, yeah, but it's like Champions League, like, we've got to go. And my mum was like, I can't do it. Like, I think Ofsted were coming in or something like that. And she was like, no, I need to be here. So my dad was like, I'm not going on my own. Like, so that was it. They didn't go.
No. That
still gets brought up in the house now. Like, that's
what, you bringing it up?
Yeah. My dad's fuming. Like, still to this day, there's a little bit of friction there.
Can you remember when you're doing that lineup and the Champions League music plays?
Oh, like, it's the best feeling in the world. Like, just stood there. But even so, yeah, like when you stood there and the music's playing, like, it's amazing, and goosebumps, everything you would think. Then we played Atletico Madrid away, and it was the last season in their old stadium. And I think they had something going on with UEFA at the time. So they like whistled and booed throughout the whole song, but even that was touching. Yeah. Like that was like
goosebumps.
Incredible. It was this old stadium, and it was like, yeah, just goosebumps. Like, it was so loud. Nice. Yeah, amazing feeling. Just like the badges on your arms, the ball that you're playing with, everything. Even like little things down to training on the pitch the night before the game.
Yeah,
you travel on the plane, you go to these away games, and you train on the pitch. It was like just everything that you can imagine. It was that.
Have you got much memorabilia from your career? Were you a shirt collector?
Yeah. Got quite a few shirts. Never swapped one in the Champions League though.
No.
Never swapped one shirt in the Champions League.
Do you wish you would have done?
Who else did you play
Difficult, yeah. So the only one that I probably would have wanted would have been Griezmann in the Atletico game. Yeah. But other than that, like in the group stages, we played Copenhagen, Porto and Bruges, and there would have been no one really that I would have swapped with. And then we played Seville in the knockout stages, and there was probably no one in that team that I would have made a beeline for either. So
would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been
Premier
the
League.
one.
Any big names from the Premier League?
Xabi Alonso, Gerrard, Bale, Rooney, and then like I've got some like obviously the lads that I've played with, like Milner, Gareth Barry. So I've got a decent collection. I've probably missed some. I think David Silva, another one. Yeah. Yes. So I've got some good ones. Yeah, got some good ones.
Yeah, love that.
Thanks everybody for watching. We hope you enjoyed this clip of the Fozcast. If you would like to watch the full episode, it is now available exclusively on Spotify for free.